Hello students. So now incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance or blending inheritance or blending inheritance. Which means 1 is to 2 is to 1 ratio. 1 is to 2 is to 1 ratio. Okay. Now let's start with incomplete dominance or the blending inheritance, that is 1 is to 2 is to 1 ratio. Okay. In incomplete dominance, the genes of an allelomorphic pair are not related as dominant and recessive but express themselves when present together in the hybrid. As a result, the F1 hybrids exhibit a character intermediate to the effect of two parental alleles. Okay, so in incomplete dominance, the genes of an allelomorphic of an allelomorphic pair are not related not related as dominant and recessive, as dominant and recessive. But express themselves when but express themselves when present together in the but express themselves when present together when present together in the hybrid. As a result, the F1 hybrids as a result the F1 hybrids the F1 hybrids exhibit a character a character intermediate to the effect of two parental alleles. Intermediate intermediate to the effect of two parental alleles. Two parental alleles. So again, in incomplete dominance, the gene of an allelomorphic pair are not related as dominant and recessive, but express themselves when present together in the hybrid. Okay, as a result, the F1 hybrids exhibit a character intermediate to the effect of two parental alleles. Okay, so now I'm going to give an example. The inheritance of flower color in 4 o'clock and snapdragon plants present a good example of incomplete dominance. When a cross is made between true breeding red flowered plant and true breeding white flowered plants, the F1 offspring were all pink flower. Okay, so the inheritance of flower color flower color in 4 o'clock in 4 o'clock that is Mirabilis jalapa Mirabilis jalapa and snapdragon snapdragon that means dog flower or Antirrhinum plants presents a good example. Plants presents a good example of incomplete dominance. When a cross is made between true breeding when a cross is made between true breeding true breeding red flowered plants That means capital R, capital R, and true breeding, true breeding, white flower plants, plants which is smaller, smaller. The F1 offspring offspring which means capital R, smaller, where all pink flower, where all pink flower. Okay. When the F1 pink flower plants are self-pollinated or crossed among themselves, the F2 plants with red, which means capital R, and pink, that means capital R, smaller, and white flowers, which is smaller, smaller, appeared in the 1:2:1 ratio. Here the phenotypic ratio matches with genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross, but the phenotypic ratio has changed from Mendelian 3 dominant is to 1 recessive ratio. In F1, R was not completely dominant over smaller. That means red color was not completely dominant over white color. So, capital R, small r appeared as pink. This is an intermediate expression of the two alleles. So, now when the F1 pink flower flowered plants are self-pollinated or crossed among themselves or crossed among themselves. The F2 plants with red, the F2 plants with red, that means capital R, pink, which means capital R, small r, and white flowers, smaller, appeared in in 1:2:1 ratio. 1:2:1 ratio. Here the Here the phenotypic ratio matches with phenotypic ratio matches with the genotypic ratio of monohydrid cross. Monohydrid cross. But the phenotypic ratio has changed from Mendelian. But the phenotypic ratio has changed from Mendelian three is to 1. That means 3 dominant is to 1 recessive. Ratio in F1, that means R red color, R, which means red color, was not completely dominant, was not completely dominant over smaller, which means white flower. White color flower. So capital R, small r appeared as pink. As pink. This is an intermediate expression of the two alleles. This is an intermediate expression of the two alleles. Okay, so now pure red, which means capital R, and pure white, which means smaller. The gametes come from capital R is capital R, and here smaller. Now here hybrid trink capital R, small r. So capital R, small r. Okay. Hybrid pink. Hybrid pink. That means capital R, small r equals to what? Nothing but RR. Okay. Where the dominant and recessive both characters are present. Okay. That means no one is dominant and no one is recessive. Now, first it is the parents. Okay. Next it is the gametes. Okay. It is the F1 generation. Okay. Now next, here it is the F2 generation. Okay. So now here it is the red, that means, which means pure red. It is pink. Okay, it is pink, and here it is white. Okay, so one is red, two is pink, and one is white. So the figure is, it represents the cross showing incomplete dominance. Okay, in my next video I will discuss about the codominance or multiple alleles with examples. So now, bye students.